Good morning. I'm Erica Gabriel, and today we'll be discussing an analysis on movie creation and the movie industry. So we first started this analysis thinking, well, what types of questions would novice film creators want to know? And the first was, well, what types of movies should we make? So we did an analysis in between movie genre and gross revenue. And here we discovered that animation and adventure are consistently the highest performing genres, both domestically and worldwide. And Microsoft should definitely focus on these genres as they get started. Next, we focused on movie length. So how long should movies be? So we represented this using a joint plot. So as you can see, where the hexagonal values get darker in color, those represent the median values, which would be 90 minutes for movie runtime and about 8 to 6 for average viewer rating. And you can see this even more clearly in the histograms on the right and the top of the plot. So we found a covariance of -2 and a correlation coefficient of -0.08. What does this tell us? That the values closeness to 0 means that there are negligible effects on movie runtime and viewer ratings. Thus, viewers do not care about the length of a film. Microsoft can feel free to make animated shorts or long-form documentaries and just focus on producing quality content and cinematography. Next, we wanted to discuss return on investment. How large should the budget be in order to produce desirable numbers in the box office? So here we compared domestic gross and film production budget as well as worldwide gross and film production budget. Also, we had to compare the relationship between worldwide gross sales and domestic gross sales. So from the correlation coefficients of budget versus domestic gross and worldwide gross, they have a mid to low positive correlation. So the difference in R for domestic and worldwide tell us that worldwide audiences care more about big name actors, production quality, and production location, things that could really drive up a budget. Also, given the very high correlation between domestic gross sales and worldwide gross sales, the two impact each other very directly. So we know that if a film is successful domestically, it will be successful abroad. However, if a film does poorly domestically, then international release should be strongly reconsidered. Next, we wanted to know, what are the impact of writers on cost and revenue? How many writers does it take to write a good film? So we represented this relationship in box plots, comparing the number of writers versus budget and the number of writers versus worldwide gross in millions. So our recommendations, from finding the correlation coefficient between writers and production budget, which is 0.3, and the coefficient in between writers and gross sales, which is 0.2, adding more writers to a project will increase gross revenue, but it will also have that much more of an impact on the required budget. Ambitious projects will benefit from more writers, but overall it should not be a primary concern given their low positive relationship. This relationship might be more correlation than causation. Lastly, where should Microsoft release films? So following the lead of movie studio veterans, we found the top 15 regions for movie releases, with the top 5 being the US, Great Britain, India, Canada, and France. So why does this matter? Well, why reinvent the wheel? If Microsoft follows the blueprint and release patterns of major movie studios, then they should see similar success when putting up projects that are similar in quality. Alternatively, if Microsoft were looking to render their potential movie competitors irrelevant, they should avoid these top countries and focus on serving smaller niche markets and building brand recognition there. So all in all, Animation and adventure genres are clear, safe bets for a movie success. And generally, you do get what you pay for. You pay for quality, so increasing the budget is worthwhile to yield that return on investment. And lastly, hiring more writers or obsessing over runtime are both unlikely to have major impacts on results. Microsoft should focus more on quality over quantity. Thank you.